Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight, we're going to have some fun because I'm going to be playing with foil, and I'm going to show you a really fun couple of different ways to use the negative pieces. And this time, they don't include toner paper. Now, I love toner paper, and for those of you who have seen me do the negative using toner paper in the past, you know that gives such a striking look, and it's definitely worth getting some and having it in your collection. But one of the biggest things that people ask all the time is, can we get white toner paper? And the answer is no, there isn't white toner to do white toner paper. But there is a really easy way that you can use the negative with white right in your craft room right now, tonight. You have everything that you need, and I'm going to show you that. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, the dead space looks brighter tonight.
Yes, there's still a little bit of shimmer lingering from you being back here last week.
And from you being in the bright space, you still have the glow.
Things are getting back to balance, though.
So if you're new and you don't know what we're talking about, Tom calls the side of the room that he's on the dead space because there's no lights over there. It's really dark.
No, that wasn't it.
And go ahead, tell them why.
The dead space, when we first started all this, you said, yeah, Tom's here to fill in the dead space.
I said that?
You said that.
Well,
you don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Tom's here to fill in the dead space. That's my mission. So this became the dead space, and yeah.
And now you have a sign.
And I'm glad to be here.
So then last Thursday, Tom was actually on this side of the camera and I was in the dead space, and he dubbed this the bright space. It is very bright. There's lights everywhere. Space. So I'm in the bright space. Tom's in the dead space, but it looks bright over there tonight, Tom. You look good.
Okay.
Are you excited about foil?
Well, Gina just showed me what she's planning. And she rarely plans, but it's, I asked, what's the first thing I asked?
How did you do that? And then he said, I'm going to have to watch.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad to see you. You have a word of the day for everyone for later?
I might.
Okay, good. Yay. We look forward to that so much. Okay, well, let's get started right away. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use tonight for tonight's project. I am going to use some of these two Poly-Glaze sheets here. I'm going to be using our, these are called Skeleton Leaves, and then I'm also going to be using these Grungy Leaves. Now, the Grungy Leaves are meant to be a background panel. These are not meant to be cut out, but the skeleton leaves actually coordinate with our Skeleton Leaves mini stamp set. And we finally did what you all were asking us to do. We created a Skeleton Leaves die set. So now we've got this, and we're actually going to not use the stamp set, but I just wanted to show you what that was. We are going to use the Skeleton Leaves die set along with the Skeleton Leaves Poly-Glaze sheets. Now, tonight's video, I definitely, and Tom, you're going to have to help me with this. So you and I are going to have to, you're going to have to like kind of keep an eye on the questions, because I told everybody that even if you're not somebody that loves to foil, or I shouldn't say that you don't love to foil. Once you foil, everybody loves to foil. But if you haven't jumped into it yet and you have a lot of questions about it, bring your questions tonight and we'll be happy to answer as many as we can. But you know, I rarely look up. So if there are some questions out there, just go ahead and you be the question person, and I will get going on the project. Okay, and then for foil, I'm going to be using this foil tonight. This is the Gina K Designs 14 karat foil. Beautiful gold for fall, but this could be done with any of the fancy foils. Now, one thing a lot of people do ask, they ask this a lot in our group. So if you're new and you're trying to figure out what foils to use, you do not want to use any foil that says that it's hot foil. Now that's confusing because we are going to use a laminator for this. This is the Mink. And a laminator is hot. So you would think hot foil would work. But hot foil will not work with this. You want to use either Gina K Designs Fancy Foil. This is a product that ThermoWeb makes for us. Or you want to use the Deco-Foil in these tubes, these long, skinny tubes. Deco-Foil or ThermoWeb also makes a hot foil, but they're shorter, fatter tubes. You don't want to use those. And they say hot foil on them. So when you're looking to purchase foil, get either the Gina K Designs Fancy Foil or the Deco-Foil by ThermoWeb, and make sure that it says for fabric and paper, not hot foil. Okay, so.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
A few people asked about how the update is going for the website, and some people didn't even know that we were down for.
So our website is down for for another day. It should be up sometime tomorrow. We don't know exactly what time. We have a meeting in the morning to discuss everything. Everybody's been testing everything, and it's looking good. So we hope to be back up and running sometime tomorrow. We were down because we moved our website to a brand new everything, and we're really excited about it. Everybody that works here is amazed at how easy it is to use, and I hope that you guys all find it easy to use as well. The search is amazing. I mean, you put in a word and like a million options come up for that word. It's really, really well done. We love it so far. So but more on that later. Let's get back to this video. Okay, so you're going to be using the fancy foil, the 14 karat fancy foil, or IM. You can use any foil for a laminator. And then I'm going to be using my Mink machine. Now you can use any laminator for this. If you don't have a Mink and you have a laminator, just make sure that you turn your laminator on and let it heat up for about 20 minutes or so. You want it to get nice and hot. And if you have more than one setting, like if you have a 3 mil and a 5 mil setting, put it on the 5 mil because that's going to make it a little bit hotter. But I use a Mink, and I am going to set mine to 3. You can also set it to 4. I find either 3 or 4 has been working really well for me. If I'm in a hurry, I put it on 4 because I know it's going to be hot enough. And as soon as it's ready to go, I can use it. If I turn it on and I leave it for a while, 3 seems to work just fine. So it's a little touchy. You know, you have to kind of test a little piece and see what works best for you. Okay, so the first technique I want to show you is a background technique. And I'm going to be using these Grungy Leaves for this background. Okay. What does that say? Can the heating tool ever be too hot? Yeah, it actually can. You don't really want to go up to level 5 on your Mink. It can be too hot to stick. So I would stick somewhere into the 3 to 4 range. Okay. So, and Tom, you have to read the questions because I'm going to get started.
Okay, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I have all your square, circle, oval, and rectangle dies and have a problem getting the paper out of the round and oval stitch dies without them tearing up my paper. Got any solutions?
That one I'm going to recommend that you contact customer service for, because tonight, and I would have to actually break out those dies and go through a tutorial for that. So if you can contact customer service on that, that would be really helpful. Tonight, I would like to just kind of focus on the questions that are about foil. And it doesn't mean I don't want to help you. If you want to post that in the group, I'll try to get to it later, but I'm going to stick to foil for this video. Okay, so now the first thing that I'm going to do is I have Swiffer dusters, these sweeping cloths. Now, I know that some of our friends in other countries tell us that they can't get these or this brand. So what you want to do is you want to get something that's you want a good dust rag, something that you can dust your foil with, because so what happens here is our sheets are made of Poly-Glaze. Now, you might see other companies have things called toner sheets where the designs are done in black toner. Ours is done in Poly-Glaze, but either way, what happens is this design on here, whether it's toner or Poly-Glaze, the heat melts it and the foil sticks to the melted toner or Poly-Glaze, and then it comes out the other side, and when it cools, the foil and the Poly-Glaze, or the foil and the toner, are fused together. So then all you have to do is peel the rest of it away, and everywhere that there was Poly-Glaze, or if you're using toner sheets, toner, they will bond together. The hot foil is different because you have to buy these plates, these designs, and they're fairly expensive. They're big, kind of die-like things. They're big metal plates. And then you have to heat up, you have to buy another plate that you plug in, and you have to heat that up. And then you heat up the die on the plate, or you heat up the plate, and then you put your paper down in the foil, and then you put this die on top, and then you run it through a die cutting machine. There's a huge learning curve for that. I have seen people promoting those and not getting it right, like when they're showing them off. That doesn't mean they're not beautiful when they're done right, but they're more difficult to use. This technique is super easy. All you have to do is take this dusting cloth and dust the sheet. Now, when you dust the sheet, what you're doing is you're removing any fine little specks of particles that could get in between the Poly-Glaze and the foil. Because if there's something in between there, the foil can't stick. So that's why we recommend that you dust that first. Then you're going to get a piece of foil, okay? And I'm going to dust, here's the gold side, I'm going to dust the back to make sure that there's no dust on the foil either. So I've dusted both panels, and now I'm going to put the foil right on top of the Poly-Glaze, pretty side up. So whatever your foil design is, you want to be able to see the foil. And then I'm going to put this inside the carrier sheet that comes with the Mink. I've got an extra piece of cardstock in here to act as a shim. This is just Gina K Designs 80-pound layering weight cardstock, and it works great as a shim. What a shim does is it tightens up the design, and it allows more heat from the top rollers to get to it. This kind of foiling works with two things, heat and pressure. So when you add a shim, you get more pressure, and the rollers that are on the top get closer to the design and creates more heat on the design. So that's what's good about a shim. Now a shim, all a shim has to be is a piece of cardstock, and it works great. Okay, so now I've got that in there, and now I am going to send this through my machine. And now we wait.
And the number 5 is for cooking tortillas, right?
For tortillas? No. The number 5. So these lower numbers, like 1 and 2, let's say you put some Deco-Foil transfer gel, which if you don't know what that is, check out my video on it. I have a video called Deco-Foil transfer gel 5 ways to use it. If you were going to use it on something like vellum, which is a very, very thin cardstock, you could get away with a lower number because vellum is super thin. It's like tissue, right? Very thin. But if you were doing something that's a little heavier, like maybe a real light chipboard, and you wanted to foil on that, you want a little more heat on that because that's thicker. So you would go with maybe a higher setting like 4 or 5. That's why the Mink is so cool, or any laminator that has lots of different settings, because you get options for different kinds of material that you might want to send through it. Okay, a dryer sheet will not work. A dryer sheet actually has liquid softener on it, and that will make it worse because that's going to put like liquid softener on there, and it's going to block the foiling. Use a dry microfiber cloth, a Swiffer duster. I know my friend Nancy from Nancy Stamps sells a brush that she uses. It's a dusting brush. Anything that will get rid of the dust is really good. Okay.
Do the skeleton dies go with the skeleton stamp set?
Yes, they do. They work with both. Okay, so now I'm going to peel this off, and you're going to see this beautiful design left behind. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Perfect. And the reason why I really love the Poly-Glaze is because there's never any black spotting, because Poly-Glaze is clear. It's not a color. so you get a perfect foiling every time. Now, tonight's video isn't about this. This is beautiful. But tonight's video is about what's left behind, the negative piece. And that is what we're going to work with tonight. So I'm going to foil one more thing. I'm going to foil one of the skeleton leaves panels because I've got a second technique to share with you. So we're going to do both of these techniques tonight. So once again, I'm going to get my Swiffer duster, and you can use this over and over again, this cloth. So it's not like you use it once and you got to throw it away. So maybe if you can't get them where you are, maybe somebody will send you one from their pack. Maybe I should carry Swiffer dusters on my website. I didn't even think of that because I know people are really upset because they can't get them. Maybe I'll call the Swiffer people and see if I can get them. Okay, and then we're going to, again, Swiffer the back here. And I just really like these because they suck the dust up. They don't just move it around. Okay. And now this is going to go on top of this, pretty side up. And then I'm going to place this once again in the carrier sheet, and I'm going to send it through the mink. And again, I'm sending it through with the folded side first. You want to be careful not to send it through with the open side because that can get caught up in the rollers. Oh, I'm glad you've been saving your negative pieces because they sure are beautiful, aren't they? Yeah, I think I'm going to look into carrying them, not because I want to, have a big thing with Swiffer dusters or anything, but I think it would be good for people, especially some of our international people who can't get them. That might be really helpful. I will look and see if I can get them. A Swiffer sheet can be used over and over and over again. This one I can use for hundreds more pieces of Poly-Glaze. Okay. Alrighty, so now I'm going to let that cool for a minute. So you do want to take it out of here. And this is a little bit hot. Now, if you have a regular laminator and you don't have one of these carrier sheets, then pick up the carrier sheets that ThermoWeb sells. They are lined with silicone. So they serve this same purpose, and you get a whole pack of them, just tons of different options, like tons that you can use over and over again. They're like a parchment on the outside, but they're silicone on the inside. Julie, I hope that answered your question. Okay. All right. So now this is cooled off, and I am going to pull this off, and you can see these beautiful leaves that you can cut out with the coordinating dies. And we do have more of those dies on the way, by the way. Okay. Yeah, a lint-free cloth is exactly, that was the word that I couldn't think of. Anything lint-free is good. Okay, now we're going to use the negative pieces tonight. So this is going to be my big thing tonight. I'm thinking maybe I should do, well, I do have this greeting. I have this thanks greeting that I had already done the other night. So maybe I'll use this, so that'll save us some time. Okay, I'm going to turn off my mink, and I am going to get a piece of white cardstock. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what die I want to use. So I think I want to use, let's see here. I want to use one of the master layout sets. You can use any dies for this part. I think I'm going to use this one. This is Master Layouts 4. And I'm going to use this die. Okay, because what I want to do is I want to make a kind of a window almost that can go over what I'm going to be working on. All right. So let's work with this first, and let's cut this down a little bit smaller than this die. So I have a ruler here, and let's measure this. So let me get my glasses on. I haven't even been wearing my glasses, so I don't even know if things look good. Hopefully they do. Okay, so I want to cut this piece of cardstock down to about a little bit bigger than, no, I'll do about 3.5 to 4 3/4. Maybe I'll go even a little bit bigger. Let's see. 3 5/8 I'm going to go by 4 3/4. And the reason why is because I want this to go on top of it like that. And I don't want to be able to see any of it, but it needs to be at least big enough that I can get a little adhesive on it, right? So that's a good size, 3 5/8 by 4 3/4. And then I'm going to cut a frame out of this one in a little bit. But the next thing we want to do is we want to put this on top of here because this is going to be our background. All right. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to put a tiny little bit of tape runner right up here at the top. Just a tiny little bit, like a strip going across the top. Okay. And we are going to tape this onto the top, starting in the middle and just working our way out. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see, but you can if I turn it that way. See the little dots from the tape runner? Okay, because we want to hide that underneath the frame. So where did I just put that die? Here it is. So we want to kind of hide that underneath the frame so we don't see the dots. I hope that makes sense. That's going to be a little bit hidden. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to put a tiny little bit of dot runner down here. And then we're going to smooth this with our hand. You can also use like a card or something to smooth it all the way down so that it's completely flush. And then we'll run it over that tape. So that makes it nice and tight. And then we will run it over there like that. Now you can see, now we've got like white, it looks like white toner back there, right? That's so pretty. And it's nice and flat and flush up against it. Okay. Now we're going to take just a plain pair of scissors. They should be sharp scissors. I don't know how sharp these are, but I'm going to hope for the best. And we're just going to cut away that excess foil. Okay. This is not what you were talking about, Tom, but I have a technique that I'm going to show in a minute. So they'll be able to see the one that you saw. And then we're going to use both of those in a card, in the card tonight. So this is a great way to use your negative piece without the need for toner paper. And now toner paper is gorgeous. The difference is everywhere that you see white on this, if you use toner paper, you would see black. So both are beautiful, but if you want that white look, this works really nicely to create the white look. Okay. And you don't have to worry too much. You just have to make sure that you've got it nice and tight into that tape runner. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty flat. Now, before we get to the next step on this card, I want to get the next one ready for this piece. So I'm going to use this maple leaf right here. I know you can't see it because it's on gray, but let me cut another piece of cardstock out here. I'm going to just cut a 1/4 sheet. Okay, let me put this aside. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just one of these. There's a bunch of them here, and you don't have to do them all at once. So you can do one now, or you can do them all if you want, but I'm just going to do one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Connect glue. Now, if you do Connect glue all over your cardstock, it gets lumpy and bumpy. It doesn't look that good. But if you put a little Connect glue onto the thing that you want to work with, And then you just get your finger and you rub it real thin all over. All over the back of that. It's super thin and it's just tacky. And then you place that onto your white cardstock and you rub it with your finger and kind of burnish it with your finger. That's going to stick really flat onto that cardstock. Can you see that that's really flat in there? Okay, and there's no lumps and bumps. And then I'm going to just trim out around that, and then we're going to die cut that. Now, I first saw this particular technique done by a friend of mine that used to work here. Her name is Nicole Eulander, and she made a beautiful card using this technique. And she told me that I was like, wow, that leaf is so pretty. She goes, yeah, I used the negative piece and I cut it out with the dies. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do that. And I promise I'll give you credit. So I wanted to give her credit that I saw her card and that's how she did it. Now, I don't know exactly what her technique was, but this will work. And now I'm going to cut this out.
So some questions about ink blending.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ink blend over the negative piece where the leaves are? And I think there was a question about ink blending before putting the foil down.
So I recommend that you ink blend before you foil. I mean, after you foil. I'm sorry, after you foil. I like to foil first and then I ink blend over it. I think it looks better. And then you don't have any ink kind of in the way. You can't really ink blend on the foil itself, but you can color with Copic markers on the foil. So you can color from the back. You could color the leaves from the back and then put them on the white cardstock and all the leaves will be different colors. Or you can ink blend that white piece that is behind here. You can certainly, ink blend on that and then do this. Of course. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now I'm going to get my die cutting machine and I'm going to cut out one of these. Move my foil thing out of the way, my mink. Okay. I'm going to get a white quarter sheet of cardstock here, and I'm going to cut this out. And remember, I always say to turn it a little bit and have it go through the machine on an angle. It will be a little bit easier with a huge die like this. Okay. Then we're going to cut out the center of this. Cut out the center of this. And the die set that I like to use to cut out the center, well, you can use Master Layouts too if you want, or one of those, but there is one that was designed to actually coordinate with it, and that is, let me find it, because I don't know off the top of my head. It's this one, Master Layouts 5. So it's this die right here, the plain rectangle, is designed to coordinate with the scalloped one from Master Layouts 4. So 4 and 5 work nicely together. I don't know if you guys knew that, but they work really nice. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. I want to preserve all the stitches there. So I'm going to line it up and I'll probably put a little bit of, oh, I don't know. I don't want to tape on here, but I think I might have to. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe so. Okay, I'm going to use a little pixie tape. And even though this pixie tape is really good, I'm still going to tape it first on my clothes to make it even less tacky. Okay, that looks good. All right. There we go. I think that looks, it's a little more on this side. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this out. Wish me luck. Ooh, it shifted. You all know it shifted. I just didn't know it shifted. Sorry if my head's in the way. Isn't it hard to do it, Tom, without your head getting in the way?
Yeah.
The die cutting?
That applies to all kinds of things in my life.
Okay. Should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? I don't know. But I can save this piece and use it for something else later. And it's already cut out. It's very beautiful. Okay, so now I've got that nice little piece that's going to go on top of this. And that's going to tack everything down, make sure that the foil doesn't lift. And it's just going to be so pretty. So let's pick a color for a card base together, shall we? So I was thinking white, but I'm not going to have a black layer. So what am I going to do? I don't necessarily know that craft is going to look that good, but what do you guys think? Do you think craft would look good? Or should I go with something? See, white on white though, you guys, white on white actually does not look bad, especially when it's something like this, because we can pop this up. And so the whole thing could be popped up white on white, and I think it would be really pretty. All right, let's go white on white. All righty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a little bit of tape right along this. We could use glue if we wanted. I'm going right on the inside. I have so much die cutting stuff all over me. And then we're going to lay that on top. That is not right. Ooh, I gotta pull it up. Don't pull the foil. Okay, there we go. I really should have done it like this to make sure it was right down here. Because we can always trim a little bit off the top if we have to. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Trim a tiny bit off. No, I'm not going to do that either. Let's try it this way. We'll go sideways. Okay, sideways is the ticket, I think. Almost the ticket. And there's still a little over here on the side, but I don't mind trimming it off the side. I just didn't want to trim it off the top because we need the top. We need that adhesive. So I'll trim this little bit off of here, off the side. Love a sharp pair of scissors. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our pretty little frame around there. I'm going to make sure that it's nice and tight back here. Okay. So now this is going to be, let's turn this into a card base. And then we're going to pop this up with some shaker strips. And you don't have to use shaker strips. You can use foam squares, but I really like these shaker strips for this. Everybody was holding their breath. I was holding my breath too. So I'm going to use shaker strips for this. Just because it'll kind of hold everything in place. You know, it won't sink in them on the sides where there isn't any foam squares, or we can add one in the middle too. I know everybody was holding their breath. I'm sorry. I hate to scare you all on a Tuesday night. I wish I had plum punch. I think it's going to be pretty. me put these in the center. These extra ones. There's an extra one there. Now, if you're going to try this card, and you don't even have to do it with foil if you just want to try it with a background and try this kind of layout with the frame, you can use any color you want. Okay, that's going to look good. So, Tom, while I'm adhering this, do you have a word of the day that you would like to share?
Okay, fun little silly word of the day. So,
drag it out. I got a lot of foam squares here, or foam strips.
Oh no, there's going to be no dragging out here. It's not that kind of word of the day.
Oh no.
So your husband's hat that falls, keeps showing up on the floor behind the lazy boy?
Yes.
That would be a hubcap.
That's very cute.
It's a hubcap.
Very cute. He just disappears again. Wish me luck. Better than horrible. Okay, so that gives us some lift there, and I kind of like that. And what I like about these shaker strips, I know you can't really see that, but let me peel it back a little. You don't see like all spaces in between. It's just a nice, big, thick thing of foam. All right, so now we're going to add something to this. We're going to add like a little circle design, and here is where this fun part comes in. So you saw me glue this down, right? So I am going to cut this out with the leaf die, and wait till you see how pretty it is. I didn't expect it to be so pretty. And when I saw Nicole's, I thought, I got to do that. It's too pretty. So I'm going to get this in place, and I'm going to tape them down so they don't move. I have to get my head in the way. I'm sorry. I'm going to put my head in the way for just a minute because this actually, foil has a glare to it, so it's really hard to see on a side angle. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm cutting. Okay, look at that. Okay, guys, look at the outline. Can you see the outline on that? Oh my gosh, it looks like it's got a gold perimeter on the outline. I just got to turn it in the right angle so you can see that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that. And that's using the negative piece.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. I love that. So pretty. Okay. Very nice. And you can see I only did one. So I've got the rest of that negative piece here. And I can save that with my Poly-Glaze sheets. And whenever I need a leaf, I can just glue that one from the back, stick it on there, and just cut it out. Now, if you want to do the whole thing, you can. But I was moving very quickly with the glue, right? I was moving very quickly because, and I'm going to take a picture of this. I think I have another one here somewhere that I cut out a little bit earlier. I'm going to take a picture of it. Here it is. I'm going to take a picture of it by itself up close so you can see what it looks like, how pretty they are. I mean, they're exceptionally pretty. This would be a gorgeous wreath. You know, you could just have these going around in a circle. You could mix them up with the other ones and just have them going around. It's such a pretty idea. It looks like jewelry to me. I want to wear these as earrings. I'm telling you, they're so pretty. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, and I know you guys are going to scream when I do this, but I have to. I'm going to get our circled. Oh, I'll be able to show my friend who was looking for circle die advice. Oh, I'm so excited. I didn't think I was going to do this. I never know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use this small little die here and the larger one. So we've got the double stitch circle and the single stitch circle. Oh goodness, I hope she's still here. If you're still here, please tell me you're still here. I'll feel so much better. And I'm going to cut both of these out of a white piece of cardstock. And I know this is a lot of white and it's not my normal thing. I always like to do a little accent. If I was going to do an accent piece, maybe that would be a really good time to show you gold toner paper, but I've showed you that before. Let's just do this white on white thing and we'll pop one of these up. Can you use adhesive sheets instead of glue? The adhesive sheets show. They just don't look as good as the glue. That thin little layer of glue really looks good. You can, but you can see it a little bit. So I think it's kind of up to you if you want to do that. So I'm going to layer these together and I'm going to pop one up on the other. There's not a lot of contrast here, but the popping up will help. It might be better to have some color, but now I don't have any color on my background, and so I feel like I kind of missed the color boat here. Honestly, this whole video really wasn't about the card. It was more about the technique. So whatever happens with the card, we're going to just go with it. So I'm going to pop this one up on the other one. Yeah, these are standalone dies. These are our double stitched and single stitched circle dies. And you could see now when I popped this out, okay, it was stuck in here. When I popped it out, what I did was I pushed my thumb all along the sides like that until it popped out. That's how I got that to come out. If you try to just push it from the center, sometimes it won't come out and it actually feels like it's really tight. But if you go up close to the edge, I always kind of push down from the edge and then it pops out a lot easier. Yeah, it could be the cardstock too. Our cardstock does have a good release on this. Okay. And then I'm going to place this down here in the corner of this card. Maybe I'll even overlap it a little bit. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my leaf here and my thanks here. All I really wanted that for was a little grounding panel. But I want to see the stem. So I think maybe I'll move that up a little bit and let those things overlap. And that's all I'm going to do. Just a very simple layout. So let's tape this down onto our foiled piece. I'll get my hair out of the way. Sorry about that. I'm going to just put that right in there in the corner. And then I'm going to put this on with tape. I'm not going to press yet because once again, I want to kind of see my layout. I might pop the thanks up with very thin foam squares. Oh, I love this. And this is all using the negative. I'll use our small foam squares to pop this thanks up. And I'm actually just going to put them in the middle here because that's where it's going to be attached to that circle. And that circle is just to create some separation because if I put the leaf right onto the background, you wouldn't even really see it. It would just get caught up in there. This just creates a little bit of separation. It's not really that necessary, but it helps for that reason. And somebody asked if we would be having Christmas Poly-Glaze coming out, and absolutely in our Christmas release. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so there we go. Look at all that sparkle and shine. Isn't that so nice? And if you really wanted to create even more separation, You could do the back in a different color foil, like maybe a copper or something like that. And then the leaf and the thanks in gold. And that might help with the separation a little bit. Let me just show you what I mean. I've got other colors of foil around here somewhere. Let's see. Maybe like if you used sweet mango and you had that behind here, you see how you see more of the gold there. So you could do like a two-tone thing where it wasn't all in the same foil color. But I've been so into gold foil lately. Oh my word, I can't get enough of gold foil. This new 14 karat gold that ThermoWeb did for me, I love it. I also love the sterling. But sterling I'm going to use more for Christmas, I think. I think gold feels a little bit more appropriate for fall. So there is my finished card. All right, Tom. So we're going to give this one away. You know, you could add some sequins in here too, but the thing about foil is you don't really need to add too much bling because the whole card is bling, right? And just look at this one more time. Just humor me here. Look at that edge. We got to get it right at the right angle. See that edge? That nice thick gold perimeter? Oh, that's beautiful. And that is flat as a pancake on there with that super thin layer of Connect glue. And you don't see anything through it. It's pristine. It's like a window.
I bet some people are looking to experiment with different colors under there too, right?
Absolutely. And you can do that. I mean, you can put whatever color you want. I'm going to use something that's quite a contrast here because I picked up yellow, but like if you used plum, can you see now all the leaves look plum?
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you can also, you can take a Copic marker. I'll do something that's really obvious. How about, what do you think would be really obvious, Tom? Like, I think blue maybe would be the most obvious. I'll do like some turquoise here, but like you can color the back of this foil with a Copic marker. It won't hurt your marker and it won't hurt the foil and it doesn't hurt the design. And then if you put that on top, can you see that that is like a more pale, I should have used a brighter color, but it's a very, if you could see it in person, it looks like sea glass instead of white. So that's another thing that you can do. I wonder if I could get a darker color. It's also, this is a very delicate design. So if you have even a bolder design, it might work a little better. And if you want to see any of these techniques, like I have a technique in a 5-minute card where I color on foil with Copic markers. So there's videos all over my YouTube channel. Can you see that better? Boy, we've got the light really, really bright. I'm gonna bump the camera down just so they can see it, especially now that the video is done. Let me just bump the camera down so you can see better. If I could find where the remote went. Okay, give me 1 sec here. All right. Okay, let's see if that works better. Okay, so now you can see it's darker. Now, can you see this a little bit better? Can you see that turquoise in there better?
Yes. Okay.
And can you see the design in here better?
Yes.
It's just, it's so bright, you know? Foil's amazing. Okay, so now we have a darker camera. If somebody just tuned in right now, they're thinking that they got to get their vision checked in the morning. Okay, Tom, let's give this away.
All right, let's give it away. Drum roll, please.
Okay,
the winner is Marion Eastman.
Yay, Marion, congratulations. This one is coming home to you. All you have to do is give us your name and address, send it to info@ginakdesigns.com, and I'll get this card out to you. Well, guys, this was so much fun. Now, I don't know, this is a little hint. I don't know if you saw, but tomorrow night, I am going to be live both on my channel and on the Simon Says Stamp channel. And we are going to be celebrating Stamptember. So it's out there. I mean, if you go to my channel, you're going to see the live posted and also over on Simon's. So that is just a little hint for those of you who are excited about Stamptember at Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to be live and I hope you will join us. I'll be sending out some information on in our Facebook group tomorrow too. So, and I'll put something here in our community tab on YouTube. But that's all I can say. I can't say anything else. I don't even know why I'm going to be live. I just don't know. Just a whim. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back on Thursday also here on my channel and on our Facebook page and Twitch with another Crafternoon Live. And then I will try my best this weekend to finally get a 5-minute card or a Foil It Friday card up. I really will. This is a crazy week. Our website, we're crossing our fingers that all goes well tomorrow. We don't know exactly what time, so when it goes up, it'll go up. I'll make an announcement when it's up. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.